Good morning. We're going to go ahead and get started. Seeing how our chair is not here just yet, I guess that falls to me, right? So would we like to get started with a roll call, please?
Commissioner Kern,
Here.
Commissioner Pavlik,
Here.
Commissioner Kelly,
Here.
Commissioner Caliendo,
Here.
Commissioner Scarborough,
Here.
Commissioner Burke, Commissioner Brumfeld,
Here.
Commissioner Beatty,
Here.
Commissioner Sowers. You have quorum.
We have quorum. Great. Please rise for the opening prayer and pledge. Lord, we ask your guidance today as we consider matters that will affect the safety and welfare of many people in our county. Help us to listen to open minds to matters that are important before us and to act on matters that will benefit those who reside in our area. Keep our minds open and alert, our hearts compassionate, and our comments charitable. Amen. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The Zoning Commission of Palm Beach County has convened at 9 a.m. in the Vista Center, Ken Rogers Hearing Room, VC 1W47, 2300 North Jog Road, West Palm Beach, Florida, to consider applications for official zoning map amendments, plan developments, conditional uses, development order amendments, Type 2 variances, and other actions permitted by the Palm Beach County Unified Land Development Code, and to hear the recommendations of staff on these matters. The Commission takes final action regarding Class B conditional uses, subdivision variances, and Type 2 variances, and issues advisory recommendations on accepting, rejecting, or modifying the recommendations to staff regarding other requests. The Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County will conduct a public hearing at 301 North Olive Avenue, West Palm Beach, Florida, in the Jane M. Thompson Memorial Chambers, 6th floor, at 9:30 a.m. on Thursday, September 22nd, 2022, to take final action on the applications listed below regarding official zoning map amendments, rezoning, Class A conditional uses, requested uses, plan developments, development order amendments, waiver requests, and administrative inquiries. Zoning hearings are quasi-judicial in nature and must be conducted to afford all parties due process. The Board of County Commissioners has adopted procedures of conduct for quasi-judicial hearings to govern the conduct of such proceedings. The procedures include the following requirements. Any communication with commissioners which occurs outside the public hearing must be fully disclosed at the hearing. Applicants and persons attending the hearing may question commissioners regarding their disclosures. Such questions shall be limited solely to the disclosures made at the hearing or the written communications made a part of the record at the hearing. Any persons representing a group or organizations must provide documentation that the person representing the group has the actual authority to do so regarding the matter before the commission. Any person who wishes to speak at the hearing will be sworn in and may be subject to cross-examination. The applicant and county staff may cross-examine witnesses. Any other persons attending the hearing may submit cross-examination questions, including follow-up questions, to the chair who will conduct the examination. The scope of the cross-examination is limited to the facts alleged by the witness in relation to the application. Public comments are encouraged, and all relevant information should be presented to the commission in order that a fair and appropriate decision be made. Do we have proof of publication?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Motion to receive and file.
I'm sorry. Hang on one second, Commissioner. Swearing in by the county attorney?
You could do the motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. Motion to receive and file by Commissioner Caliendo? I'm sorry, seconded by Commissioner Pavlik. I was searching for the name. I apologize. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Swearing in by the county attorney.
All those wishing to testify or speak on today's items, please rise and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Motion to adopt the minutes.
Motion made by Commissioner Caliendo for adoption of the minutes, seconded by Commissioner Scarborough. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Amendments to the agenda.
Yes, we have some amendments to the agenda in front of you, which includes item number 1 for assessment and all petition condition. Item number 2, there are several amended conditions. We also recently received a request to postpone this item to the October hearing, so we'll need to do a motion on that due to the timing. And then item number 4, Calvary Chapel, there are some amended conditions for all petition as well as some environmental conditions.
Make a motion to adopt the amendments to the agenda.
We have a motion to adopt the agenda as amended by Commissioner Caliendo, seconded by Commissioner Pavlik. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda is adopted. Disclosures. We'll start to my left. Commissioner Pavlik?
None.
None. No disclosure. None.
Commissioner Scarborough?
None.
And I have no disclosures.
Yeah.
Any conflicts or recusals? Starting with my left?
None.
None. None. None.
Great. No conflicts or recusals.
Okay, that'll bring us to our postponements. We did receive a request by the applicant for item number 2 to postpone to the October 6th zoning commission hearing. They are working with the Alliance of Del Rey, so that would be a motion due to the timing.
Do we have a motion to postpone item number 201361 to the October 6th hearing?
So
Motion to move to the October meeting.
Motion made by Commissioner Beatty. I'm sorry, sir.
I have a question of staff, actually. And correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't items number 1 and 2 tied together in the sense that item number 1 will be rezoning the property, will be removing the property from the AGR?
Yes, you're correct. So item 1 and 2 would both have to be postponed.
Was item number 1 also subject to the request to postpone?
It wasn't.
It's not part of the request, but I would recommend adding that or administratively postponing that, whether or not it's included, because they go together.
Good morning. For the
Morning.
record, Jeff Brophy at WGI. Yes, our request is to include both 1 and 2.
Commissioner Beatty, would you like to amend your motion?
Yes, I amend the motion to include items number 1 and 2.
Second.
We have a motion to postpone items number 1 and 2 to the October 6th meeting by Commissioner Beatty, seconded by Commissioner Scarborough. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Items 1 and 2 are postponed.
Okay.
We have
1 card, I believe, for item number 4.
and 1 card for item number 3.
Would you like to pull them from the agenda, or would you like to just hear the comments?
Item 3 is not clear of whether it's in support or opposition of. I would say let's just go ahead and hear the comments first, if that's acceptable, staff.
Yes.
Okay. Dagmar Braz, if you can please come up to the podium. Commissioners, this is item number 3, item number 00120 for public comment.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dagmar Bross. I'm from the organization known as COBRA. This project, the Winchester assemblage, was presented to us before our Growth Management Committee, the Board of Directors, and also the delegates of COBRA. We did vote to support this project. We think townhomes on Military Trail, density isn't crazy. It seems like a good project and something that we would need in the area due to the housing crisis that we are experiencing right now, I should say. There was a very long debate on the workforce houses being on site or off site. There were a few people that voted against it because they felt they should be on site. We did approve it with them doing the buyout program regarding the workforce housing units, but with the upheaval in the press, commissioners, everyone talking about the workforce housing units not being constructed. We would like to see units built on site, but we will leave that up to the Zoning Commission and the County Commission if they want to push that forward or not. But in the future, COBRA will be more stringent on asking that workforce housing units be placed on site instead of a buyout program, and a lot of times they just don't get built. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sir?
Ma'am? Ma'am? I'm sorry.
Not a problem.
Understanding the concern in reference to workforce housing on site, that's in reference to the infrastructure that's currently available, where this project is going in, and how that dovetails with the project. Is that how I understand what Cobra's position was?
Yes, yes. Basically, it's on Military Trail, just north of Hypoluxo. There are some employment opportunities, but it's not really far out west, so that people who do reside in this small community will have access to jobs and roads and, you know, amenities, stores and whatnot. It's not out in the ag reserve. And, you know, so it is a good place for a project like this to happen.
Okay, that was my question. I just wanted to follow up with you on that. As I understood it, that the infrastructure was there at the location for that site, as opposed to exchanging it for the credits.
Correct.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Excuse me. Do you do you know if that project was a rental property?
No,
or
it's
was
a buying project. It's to
projects
purchase,
that they're
which
going to
we
sell
are.
the townhomes.
We are very much in support of.
I would agree with you on that, because there's too many dumping grounds for these units that get focused in one area, and most all of them seem to be going rentals. So it would be nice to see some that
And
that were
Cobra is
actually
very
for sale.
much in support of, you know, owner, you know, buyer versus
I agree
rental.
with you 100%.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No other questions? All right, we're going to move on to item number 4, public comment. Item number 01947, Paul Schultz. You can go ahead and approach the podium, sir.
Good morning, commissioners and aides. I live due west of the property, and I've lived there for 26 years. Just got the information, was able to review the zoning changes being made, and I sent to Donna, the project manager, my comments and pictures. It wasn't clear how I could use some visual aids to share with you the pictures I sent. Is Donna here?
No, she's not here today.
I have them on my iPhone. Is there any way to get those where I could share those?
No, sir.
Okay.
What were the pictures of?
The existing property, areas of the zoning change that may not have been considered. I'm not sure if the team looked at it. So is there anyone here that's familiar with this change, this zoning change? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So is the building in the back going to have the same barrel tile type roof as the Calvary Chapel? Wasn't clear.
Is the applicant here for this item? Because we can put the staff presentation up if the applicant isn't here. Yeah. If the applicant would like to come to the mic and share with us any graphics, or we'll have our staff graphic here. Or the agent.
Is that Mr. Herring?
Melissa Costello on behalf of Kotler and Herring. I do have Don with me, as well as the pastor, if you have any questions for them as well.
They have questions on the
So
architecture.
the architecture, just specifically the architecture on the roof, is it going to be the same barrel style to match the existing building?
Right, so the architecture didn't go under the DRO approval, is what I'm understanding. So that's going to be approved after the board hearing. And that is something that we can consider when we're designing the architecture.
Excellent. So we don't have an answer to your question, Paul. It'll be considered at a later date.
Okay.
But being that it is subject to Article 5C, they have to have similar architecture and features. So, yes.
There is a shared, this is a 4-lane road with a center bi-directional turning lane. Anyone can come in, and we're adjacent to that. And of course, this is going to put additional traffic in there. And it's kind of like going into Tijuana, Mexico. There's a trailer park on the other side, Calvary Churches. There's some concerns about safety there. There's often just stalemate, head-in-head Has anyone looked at that to understand, the concern, the traffic safety concerns there?
Yes, sir. All applications have to go through traffic and safety.
Okay. I read that in here, but it looks like it was considered a non-issue.
Right, so it didn't cause any red flags with the county traffic division, sir.
Okay. I was real concerned about that because it's a kind of a problem now with the existing traffic. Saw the amendment this morning. Does that mean that native vegetation, undeveloped south area is going away?
I'm looking to staff for that answer. Give me 1 second, Paul.
So it's an environmental condition of approval by ERM, and basically what they're saying is that we can delete the condition because it's covered by our code that's already been codified relative to preservation.
Excellent.
So that means it'll stay.
I can't speak on behalf of ERM, so nobody from ERM is here.
So
that's a big concern. Can I get that codified or some sort of answer on that?
So this isn't the final decision board. We still have to go to the Board of County Commissioners, and between here and there, we can follow up with ERM so that he can respond. They can respond back to
sounds great.
Mr. Schultz.
How would I get feedback on that?
If I may, Commissioners, we are more than happy to meet with the property owner, just make sure all of his issues are addressed.
Absolutely.
Okay. I had sent this letter with a bunch of specific concerns. Do I have time to discuss any of this?
You have about 45 seconds left, sir.
Okay. There's a bunch of items now that I documented that aren't in compliance with the original plans. There's full-size secrates laid down in the property. They're not strapped down. The berm that separates that property to the west side wasn't built per the standard, and it's not been maintained. It's falling apart. But the biggest one is the plan calls for a split rail fence to separate that vegetation area from the daycare center. That's not going to be acceptable. It's there's going to be a lot of noise. There's concern about kids wandering out into that field. I think there should be something similar to what's on the west side now to keep the kids in there and keep the noise and visibility down from my property, which is just to the west.
Gotcha. Thank you, sir. If you get with the young lady who was speaking, they'll talk to you about your request as the development, as she just stated, and they'll work with you before it goes to BCC.
Okay.
Excellent. Thank you. Okay, hearing public comments, do we have any motions to pull anything from the consent agenda at this time?
Well, I'm question item 3 with this workforce housing issue. Is that something we can condition?
Miss Lisa, Miss Wendy?
Planning.
I can answer that. Brian, there's the planning division. The current workforce housing program gives the developer the option to choose how they want to provide the obligation, units on-site, off-site, exchange builder, or they can, make a contribution to the in lieu program. That's what they're electing. It's fully within their purview to choose that. That is the policy that the county commission has. That's the regulations. They're compliant with it. I mean, you can make a recommendation for the board to consider it, but it is currently allowable under the development, under the workforce housing program. So,
okay,
nothing we can do about it.
Nope.
You can make a recommendation, and the board could consider it, but the board does not have any workforce housing considerations in front of them or directions to change the program right now.
Through the chair. Is the applicant here?
Good morning, Brian Terry with Insight Studio on behalf of the applicants.
Good morning, sir. Perhaps you could provide us with some insight as to why the exchange, as opposed to the it is your right to choose which way, but I would like some information as opposed to the exchange or putting those units on site.
Right. So, like was mentioned, there are 3 options that are available to the developers: the payment in lieu, or the on-site, or the off-site construction. It had been the intention of this development to do the the payment in lieu from the initial point of the application, and it's been consistently that case from day one. We are going to look at some internal options and see if there's an opportunity to look at it from a different lens and see if one of those others could be accounted for. But at this point in time, again, it's frankly as part of the application process and a business decision that's made generally very early on in the application.
Understand. I appreciate your forthrightness.
Sure.
As is your right to make one of those selections as the code is currently written. That's your option. In looking at the area that it's going into, the infrastructure is there to support those units on site, and it is more consistent with the area and what is built there currently. So that was a concern that I identified, and that some of the other commissioners had spoke about, and perhaps that might be something that, although you've made the decision early on, this is we're our stage right here, and it will move forward to BCC, but that's a significant concern.
No, understanding. I think we'll take your suggestion to heart and give it consideration between now and the Board of County Commission.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other follow-up questions? Okay, so we have 3 items remaining on the consent agenda, items 3, 4, and 5. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended?
Motion to approve the consent agenda as amended.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Scarborough, seconded by Commissioner Caliendo. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
I'm sorry?
Nay.
So, motion passes. All right, that's the end of the consent agenda.
Is that 6-1? Did somebody say nay?
I did.
3,
Yeah,
4,
okay.
5, 6. Yes, 6-1.
Thank you.
1 nay. Sorry. All right, that brings us to the end of the consent agenda. Moving on, there's no items on the regular agenda. Unless staff has anything to add, are there any comments from Scott, County Attorney?
No comments.
Okay. Zoning Director?
No, I just want to share with you that we try really hard with the applicants to resolve a lot of the issues. I don't know if you've noticed, we've had some very short zoning commission meetings. So we're trying everything in our power to resolve conflicts prior to getting to this hearing. So when we do have an item on a regular agenda, it's where we just can't come to an agreement. But we're trying our best to work out issues, apply those standards in the code and such prior to these meetings.
And we think you do a great job. I mean, you really do make things very streamlined for us. So thank you so much for all of that.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Caliendo. Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Nay. Oh, no.
Y'all have a great month. We'll see you next month.
Thank you.
We'll see you next month.